What is up, guys? It is Barry Michael Doyle here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how easy and straightforward it is to get started with creating a React project using TypeScript. This tutorial is going to be done on Windows, but can also be done pretty much the same way on Mac or Linux. So don't stress if you've got a Mac or Linux device. I'm just going to be showing you how to do it on Windows. You can follow the exact same steps using whatever operating system you have, as long as it's Windows, Mac, or Linux. So there's going to be two main things that we need to download before we can get started with this. The first one being Node.js. This is pretty much responsible for running the build scripts and the start scripts for React to run. And secondly, we'll need an IDE. I recommend Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to show you how to do everything and set everything up with Visual Studio Code just because I like it. It's got everything you need. It's got a built-in terminal. Yeah, it's beautiful. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So it basically means you put all your coding resources into one place. You do all your coding from one place. So you don't have to mess around through different programs to get everything to work. If everything's integrated into one development environment, it just smooths out your development process so much. I've put the links in the description below, and I'm going to head to Node.js and Visual Studio Code's websites right now and show you what to do from there. So here we are on the Node.js website. Because I'm running a Windows device, it says download for Windows. If you're running Mac or Linux, this should change according to what operating system you're using. And I recommend that you go for the long-term support version because it's just less likely things are going to go wrong. The current version with the latest features, there could still be bugs that haven't been sorted out. And we want to make this as smooth a process as possible. So just click on that, download it, go through the basic installation process. You don't have to change anything, just do the normal standard installation. Right. Secondly, here we are at VS Code or Visual Studio Code, which is our IDE. This has got everything we're going to need in it. This is what it actually looks like. So you have your text viewer here, depending on whatever file you're looking at. And while this is talking about plugins, it's got really nice plugins. It's just got a lot of nice built-in features to improve your coding experience. So I highly recommend we use Visual Studio Code for this because I use it for all my tutorials and it works great. I use it for work. I use it for everything. It's awesome. Anyways, what you're going to need to do is go download. Again, I'm using Windows, so it says download for Windows, but depending on whatever you're using, you can go down there and download the stable one for Mac, the stable one for Linux, or just, the stable one for Windows. So just download it, install it the normal way you would install something on your operating system, and we'll carry on and open that from there. Let's head into Visual Studio Code now. Right, so here we are with the Visual Studio Code opened up. I don't have any files open, so it's just this blank screen here. I wanted to first show you that if we go to View, you can go down to Terminal. You could also press Control and a little backtick, and that will open your terminal. So if I go Control backtick, we've got that. I just wanted to show you that you can do that. I'm going to go into full screen now because we don't need to use those views for anything. I have no idea what that green dot is. Oh well, we'll figure it out later. Okay, it's gone now. That's cool. I am using a specific terminal called Bash, which comes with downloading Git. I'll put a link in the description for that as well if you want to download Git and use this terminal, but really it doesn't matter. This is opened up on my user. So, on Windows it works like this. You've got your C drive, and then you have users on the C drive. And then on that, you've got your actual user account, which is Barry. Then on that, I can go to my desktop. So, for example, if I type ls, then I'll see everything on my user, and desktop is one of them. So I'm going to just create everything on my desktop, ignore the other stuff. There's a lot of junk in there. But cd desktop, and that's how I get to my desktop. So you see now we've navigated to our desktop. This is very important because we need to know where we are when we're doing our code. This is part of the integrated development environment. The terminal is looking out into our computer where things are. So everything we do now, like everything I do here, is located on the desktop. There's I've only got my other desktop stuff in there. If I type ls, I can see what's in there. So I could make a directory and say new folder. And now if I do ls, there's a new folder in there. Oh, I created two. I created new and folder. I should have done some character to make it look like a space. So now I've got folder and I've got new in here. So I could go cd new, and then it goes into desktop /new. Or I could go cd back like that, and it goes back out to my desktop. So that's just a little hint for you if you don't understand this, which is quite important that you get that. Anyway, back to actually creating your React app with TypeScript. So because we've installed Node.js, everything should be working fine. We are able to say npx create React app. This only works because you've installed Node.js. Now we can name it whatever we want. So let's call it my app. And then finally, because I said I want to show us how to do it with TypeScript, it's simple. You just add dash dash TypeScript, and this is the TypeScript flag telling it to build it as a TypeScript project and not just as a normal JavaScript project. So we hit enter and it runs, and hopefully nothing goes wrong, but that pretty much happens. It takes a little bit of a while. It's really quick actually if you think about it. So it's installing the packages, goes through the process of adding everything. Quite nice to see as things get built. So again, it mentions it might take a while. I'm going to open split terminal here. So remember we did this command in the desktop. So it's still doing its downloading, but we did this command in the desktop. I just wanted to say that if you prefer using yarn and not npx, I haven't shown you how to install yarn, but if you want to use yarn, you'd say yarn create React app. In this case, it's yarn space create space React dash app. And then you'd say my app. And then you'd say dash dash TypeScript. So you'd say that if you wanted to do all of that, but we don't. So alas. Cool. I'm going to kill that terminal. And yeah, I'm scrolling down here. It's installed a whole bunch of things. It's built that. It's created everything. A whole React app has been created here. So now we need to go into our folder and actually open it. So I don't have any folders open here. I'm going to move that down a bit. But if I go into my desktop, here's the folder I created just now. There's the new folder I created, and it's all my other desktop stuff that I put there because it's a tutorial and I want to look slightly clean. We've created this my app over here. So if you go into here, it's got a whole bunch of stuff, but I recommend you open it at the root level over here. So say select folder, and it opens up. Now you might not have pretty icons like this. I've got them because I have some extensions. The extension I use for this is, this just tells me a whole bunch of, there's a lot of extensions here. The extension I use for those pretty icons is called Material UI, Material Icon Theme. That's what it's called. So that's why I have pretty looking icons over here. Now everything we have here is nicely built into our source. This is our app. It's everything that we said there with that create React app gives us this. So you've got your app over here. You can open it up. And this is what your TypeScript would look like. Your file would just look like this pretty much. There's test files. There's, again, ignore the calculating stuff that's up there. This is all extra plugins I have. But yeah, so this, everything here, it was all created by that create React app that we've done earlier. So if I open my terminal, well, I've lost all my stuff. But remember we did that npx create React app. That built this folder over here. So that's why we have all of this. This outline's a bit useless. So now, if we look into our package.json file over here, we have a bunch of scripts. We have the start, we have build, test, and eject. For now, just to get started, if we say npm run start, that will run this start script over here. Because we're using a create React app, everything handles in the background. So now, if we open a new browser tab, this is actually working. If I look at this full message here, we ran the start, it started the development server, everything's running, compiled successfully, so everything worked. And it says you can now view my app in your browser at http://localhost 3000. So I can actually go to Google Chrome and it will all be working. Let me move it over to here. This is our React app that we've built. We've got pretty much, it says we've got a spinning thing here, edit source app.txt and save to reload. So if we go back to our code here, that's actually this over here that says edit source app to reload. So maybe we can add another paragraph in here and say hello world, Barry here, and we save this. And because this is saved, it automatically recompiles. It's quite nice. It's got this built-in hot reloader. So when you make saves to your project, I just did Control S to save there. It reloads. So if we go back to our thing, it says, hello world, Barry here. So it's quite nice. You can see changes. Maybe if I make this split screen, there's my horrible stuff. And make this also go, this is full screen, no wonder. If we make that go there, and now we look at things, we can say, make another paragraph and say test, and we say Control save. This reloads and it instantly reloads really quickly. So that's quite cool. It's nice. Depending on what you do, that determines how long it takes to recompile. But this is pretty much how you can get started with building a React application. Now you've got all the folders here. If you understand React, you should be ready to go straight off from here. You've got your folder structure here. Just everything you do, everything you code, you just put it into the source directory and you should be good to go. You can put folders in here if you wanted to. You can put files into there if you want to say like index.ts. You can just do stuff. Now this is complaining because it's like, hey, there's like an empty tsx file in here, so we can just export default something, and then bam, it's no longer complaining, which is cool. And yeah, this is pretty much all you need to know to get started. I hope this explains a lot to you guys, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. In the next video, I'm going to talk about creating a nice development environment to work with in TypeScript. So there's some nice things like prettier, and even these icons, they're cool. It's just making a nice developer experience. I'm going to show you how to do that in the next video. Catch you there. Ciao.